Have you ever wondered why your fried egg slides effortlessly across a pan like it's on ice? Or how burnt cheese somehow refuses to cling to certain cookware no matter how hard it tries? It almost feels like magic. But it's not. It's science. And at the center of it all is a material you've probably used countless times without thinking twice: Teflon. But what exactly is Teflon? Why does nothing stick to it? And is it really as simple as a non-stick coating, or is there something deeper going on at the molecular level? Let's take a closer look right here on History of Simple Things. Like many scientific breakthroughs, Teflon wasn't invented on purpose. It was discovered by accident. In 1938, a chemist named Roy Plunkett was working with gases for refrigeration at a DuPont lab. During one experiment, he noticed that a gas he had stored in a cylinder had mysteriously disappeared. But when he cut the tank open, he found a strange white, waxy substance coating the inside. That substance turned out to be a completely new material with unusual properties. It was incredibly slippery, chemically stable, and resistant to heat. This material was later named polytetrafluoroethylene, or PTFE for short. Teflon is simply the brand name DuPont gave it. Initially, it wasn't used for frying pans at all. During World War II, PTFE was used in the Manhattan Project to handle highly reactive materials because it wouldn't corrode or react. It wasn't until the 1950s that someone had the idea to use it in cookware, and that's when kitchens changed forever. At its core, Teflon is a synthetic polymer. That means it's made up of long chains of repeating molecules. In this case, those chains are built from carbon and fluorine atoms. Now here's where things get interesting. The bond between carbon and fluorine is one of the strongest in chemistry. This makes Teflon extremely stable. It doesn't easily react with other substances, break down, or degrade under normal conditions. Even more important is how these atoms are arranged. The fluorine atoms form a sort of protective shield around the carbon backbone. Think of it like a slippery outer layer that prevents other materials from getting a grip. This structure is what gives Teflon its most famous property: low surface energy. In simple terms, it means other substances don't want to stick to it. So why exactly does food slide off Teflon so easily? It comes down to friction, and more specifically, the lack of it. Most surfaces, even ones that feel smooth, are actually rough at a microscopic level. Food gets caught in those tiny imperfections, which is why it sticks. Teflon, on the other hand, is exceptionally smooth at the molecular scale. Combined with its low surface energy, it creates a surface that offers almost no resistance. When food touches it, there's very little attraction between the molecules of the food and the surface of the pan. That's why eggs glide, pancakes flip effortlessly, and cleanup becomes ridiculously easy. It's not that Teflon actively repels food, it simply doesn't give it anything to hold on to. Another reason Teflon is so useful is its ability to handle heat and harsh conditions. PTFE can withstand temperatures up to around 260 degrees Celsius without breaking down. That's more than enough for everyday cooking. It's also chemically inert, which means it doesn't react with acids, oils, or water. Whether you're cooking something acidic like tomato sauce or something greasy like bacon, the surface remains unaffected. This combination of heat resistance and chemical stability is why Teflon is used in far more than just cookware. It shows up in industrial machinery, electrical insulation, and even medical devices. Now let's address the question that always comes up. Is Teflon safe? Under normal cooking conditions, Teflon-coated pans are considered safe to use. The material itself is stable and doesn't leach into food at typical temperatures. However, problems can arise if the pan is overheated, generally above 260 degrees Celsius. At very high temperatures, Teflon can begin to break down and release fumes that may cause temporary flu-like symptoms in humans, sometimes referred to as polymer fume fever. Another concern in the past involved a chemical called PFOA, which was used during the manufacturing of Teflon. Due to environmental and health concerns, PFOA has been phased out and is no longer used in modern Teflon production. So, as long as you use your cookware properly, avoiding extreme heat and not using damaged pans, Teflon remains safe for everyday cooking. Despite its advantages, Teflon isn't indestructible. The coating can be scratched or worn down over time, especially if you use metal utensils or abrasive cleaning tools. Once the surface is damaged, it loses its non-stick properties and may need to be replaced. That's why manufacturers often recommend using wooden or silicone utensils to preserve the coating. Additionally, while Teflon handles moderate heat well, it's not ideal for extremely high-temperature cooking methods like searing steak at very high heat. In those cases, other materials like cast iron or stainless steel perform better. So, what exactly is Teflon? It's not magic. It's a carefully engineered material built from strong chemical bonds and a uniquely slippery structure. Its ability to resist sticking comes from a combination of low surface energy, molecular smoothness, and chemical stability. Add in its heat resistance and you get a coating that transformed the way we cook. What started as an accidental discovery in a lab ended up in kitchens all over the world, quietly making cooking easier, cleaner, and far less frustrating. And the next time your food slides effortlessly across a pan, you'll know it's not just convenience, it's chemistry doing exactly what it was designed to do. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.